Good morning. Welcome to Workforce Skills with John Morse. Another Monday morning, Phoenix, Arizona. It is getting hot out there. They're calling for triple digits this week. I think anywhere from 105 to 110 degrees by the middle to end of this week. I was out in the sun this weekend, got a little too much sun. Got to wear a hat. Got to protect yourself out there. That's one thing we have to realize when we're working outside. We have to stay hydrated, have to protect ourselves. So be aware. So if my face and head looks a little red today, not angry, having a great day this morning, hanging around positive people. We must hang around positive people to have a positive attitude. If we're hanging around negativity, we become negative. That's one thing I've noticed here recently, having a rough week last week. I was kind of upset, having to let guys go, hiring new people. We're making some changes within the company. And I realized I was getting a little frustrated day to day, and I had to change my attitude a little bit. You know, it was brought to my attention, and I think the people closest to us are the ones that we have a tendency to offend or hurt the most because we don't realize it. We're the most comfortable around them. And it's easier to say things around them and not think twice about it because we know without realizing it that they're going to put up with our BS. They're going to put up with our attitudes because they appreciate us. They love us. They're the ones closest to us. So being positive. You know, I've had to take an inner look at myself and think about how I'm treating the ones around me. I'm getting upset at work. Is my frustration coming across the right way? Is it coming across to the wrong people who it shouldn't? We have to take an inner look and think about what we're saying to those people. I can get frustrated. I can get upset at work, but am I doing it in the right sense? Am I doing it in the right situation? Is it going to affect people improperly? Are they going to take it the wrong way? How am I being perceived when I'm upset? Is it making the right impact for the message I'm trying to get across? So how do I get that message across? Getting angry, getting frustrated, having the right attitude, trying not to offend the wrong people. So we have to think about every situation that we deal with out there. How am I going to be perceived in each situation as I come across with what I'm trying to, my message to be? What is the message? So being positive, I want to have a positive message, even if it's in a negative situation. So how do I do this? How do I make that negative situation into a positive situation? It's all about how it's explained, you know, you have to look at the people around you and you have to read the room. When I walk into a room of my estimators and I've got a bunch of people back there and they're all working, you know, what is the atmosphere? What is the attitude? Are they in a good mood? Are they stressed? Do they have too much on their plate that day for their workload? So being positive, walking in there and knowing that they're having a stressful day, you know, I'm looking at this. They're like, we have too many bids today, John. It's got to be serious back here. No joking. Well, when I look at the list and I say, okay, wait a minute, there's a lot of jobs on here, but there's one job that's being bid with 5 different GCs. So it's really not as bad as it looks. So it's bringing that to light. All right, guys, well, it looks like a lot, but this one bid, you're doing one takeoff for 5 GCs. You just have to write it up 5 separate ways. It's not 5 separate jobs that requires 5 separate takeoffs. So it's all about the perception and changing the mindset, changing the attitude, changing that negativity into a positive, changing that stress into a less stressful situation. So that's how we have to look at our day-to-day activities. You know, there's certain people that I've talked to within a company here recently that were a little stressed about, oh, John's on a rampage. He's out there firing everybody. Okay, well, that's not the case. The case is I'm getting rid of the dead weight. I'm getting rid of the guys that are making a mess on every single job. I'm getting rid of the guys that are costing me money. So when I walked on a couple jobs this last week and a couple guys asked me, hey, do I have anything to worry about? I would stop and talk to them about their work, talk about the good things they're doing, ask them what they feel that they need to work on. It's not me pointing out their faults. It's not me pointing out the things that they're doing wrong, but asking them, what do you feel that you need to work on? What do you feel that you need to get better at? And then helping them come up with ways to improve on those situations. So This week, as I go out to the job sites, and after I'm done here talking to you guys, I'm going to be going to a job site we just started today, and we're already starting off with some struggles. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to talk to the guys and, hey, what are you struggling with? How do you feel we need to change this? What would you do differently? How can we make this run smoother? Getting their input on it and making them feel like they're a part of it. Now, regardless of what they say, if they believe that they're not sure, but their way might work, then I have to look at it and say, okay, we've tried that before, but this is what we've found is more efficient. Or I can say, okay, we've never done that before. Let's try it and see how it works. But if we're doing that and it doesn't work, we need to change it right away back to the original scope, the original way that we're doing it to make it more efficient. So it's including the employees in the situation, including them into the changes within the company or within their own work situation, within their own habits. It's getting them to take a look at themselves and think about what they can do differently. Everybody knows that they struggle. Everybody knows they have strong points, weak points. It's having them talk about it with you. So as I'm out there with the employees and having them bring to my attention what they think they're struggling with, more than likely, I've already seen it. As an outsider looking in, you can see it more than they can inside. As they go through the day-to-day activities, they know they're struggling, but they don't pay attention to that. They're just grinding and moving forward. So it's letting them observe what they already know, but talking about it out loud. Sometimes talking about it out loud can make the difference of getting something to light, getting it out in the open and starting to address it. If we don't talk about it, it's put off to the side. Sight unseen, don't notice it, don't pay attention to it. But let's talk about it. Let's let them talk about it. And maybe they're going to bring up something that you didn't notice, and it's something completely different that you believe that they're doing very well at, but they're just criticizing themselves and coming down on themselves. If they say that, man, I'm doing really good at rolling, but I'm doing terrible at brushing, but you believe that their brushing is their strongest point, let them know that. Bring it to their attention. Say, no, I disagree. I think you are a great guy at brushing in and cutting in straight lines. That's how you have to build your team up. Build your team up this week with positivity. Let's talk about the positive things. Let's bring positivity to this situation. Let them talk about what they feel they need to work on, and then you help and guide them in doing so. That's going to be some constructive criticism. That's going to create a situation to where these guys are going to be more apt to listen to you. They're going to be more apt to listen to the constructive criticism because they started the criticism to themselves first. So they are judging themselves. Sometimes we're our own worst critic at anything we do. I'm going to be the first to judge myself. I'm going to be the first to criticize myself or come down on myself. So knowing that, I can sit here and bring up situations, but if I do it in a light with somebody else and then they start giving me ideas on how to change it or perfect it or do something differently, I'm going to be more open to that criticism because I started it with myself first. So that's how you have to look at this. So as we go out there, you that are out there that are in higher up positions, whether it's a superintendent, whether it's a project manager, owner of the company, start looking at things differently. Start letting them tell you what they feel that they need to work on. You will notice a major change, a major shift in their work performance if you let them bring up what they think their worst thing that they need to work on is, and then you can help guide them. I guarantee you will see the shift. You will see the change in their work performance and how they address the situation in the workplace. You're going to notice a major, major shift. So try that this week as you go out there. You know, we have to be grateful for the people working for us. You know, the ones that are out there that are striving to do better, the ones that can recognize their own faults, their own weaknesses. Those are the guys you want to work on. The guys that are out there that they're cocky, they think they're the best. I got painters out there that think they're the best thing since sliced bread. I'm telling you what, some of those guys are the worst painters I've ever had. We've hired some people last week after going through this firing phase, and it's amazing how many guys think, oh, I'm a journeyman painter. One of the guys we hired ended up showing up with no tools, said he was a journeyman painter. He's got all this experience. He's in his, I think, late 50s, early 60s, and he is making the biggest mess out there and dripping everywhere. Guess what? We let him go. He no longer works for us. You're not going to come on board and talk about how good you are and how great you are, and then come in and make a mess. You show up with no tools. You don't know what you're doing. Don't lie to get your foot in the door. So as I look at the guys that are doing a good job, I'm going to be grateful for them. I'm going to build them up. I'm going to praise them. I'm going to make comments out there on how well they're doing. But at the same time, help guide them to be better at what they're doing. So as you're out there and you're working with these guys, find their strong points. Praise them on it. Show them what they're doing right. Let them bring to light what they're doing wrong. That's going to be a major shift in what you're doing this week. As you do this, let them guide you. This week, we're going to let the employees guide us in critiquing them. We're going to let them guide us on praising them. That's a change that we have to look at. How can I take my team out there and, they say you're only as strong as your weakest link. My company is only as strong as my weakest painter. So how do I build them? How do I make them better? It starts with a mindset. You can teach someone, you can talk to them till you're blue in the face, but how can I get them to see themselves in a different light? How can I get them to help build themselves up? Because some people don't have it within them, that they're like I said earlier, they're their own worst critic. How can we get them to change that mindset? How can we get them to start seeing the difference within themselves? Well, it starts with praising them. It starts with helping them see their strong points. Maybe they don't realize how good they are at something. It goes with any trade. There's guys out there that they're going to struggle and they're doing very, very well, but they struggle within themselves. They don't realize how good they are. We need to start letting them know this. This Friday, we're having a barbecue at the office. We're shutting down all our jobs at 11 o'clock. Everybody's going to be there by noon, and we're going to have a barbecue. We're going to recognize a few of our employees. We're going to recognize them in front of the whole company. We're going to recognize some guys that are new, that have only been with us a few weeks. We're going to recognize some guys that have been with us 6 months, and we're going to recognize some guys that have been with us 6 years plus. It's sharing that gratitude, that being grateful for the guys that work for you and their performance. It's showing them that they do matter and they do mean something to us. And that goes a long way with motivation. It's motivating the guys that work for you. Being able to motivate everybody that works for me. You can't motivate everybody every single day. It's not going to happen. Some guys or gals wake up and just have a bad day. You can't get them moving. But overall, everybody's going to have those 1 or 2 off days. But overall, let's try to motivate our workers. Let's try and motivate our employees out there. We're having a taco truck come in and we're supplying food and we're going to have some games and there's going to be some prizes. One thing we've changed, we always do like a cornhole toss, and winning team each gets $100 each. We're changing it to make it more of a painting competition. Who can set up a spray rig the fastest? Who can cut in the straightest lines? We're going to set up some drywall stuff, and we're going to have our superintendents out there competing against each other as far as caulking in and putting in nail holes and some trim on some drywall. So making it more of a competition that has to do with what we're doing with work, not just the games, just to have fun. So we're going to motivate everybody by doing something different. It's going to build up the morale of the company. And it's interesting because we're going through this shakeup within a company, and it's hard to look at this and say, okay, we just fired a bunch of people. We hired a bunch of people. We're making some changes. Let's have a barbecue and motivate everybody. It's kind of difficult to do that, but they have to see that there are changes in the company that are for the better. There's a lot of guys within the company that worked with some of the ones that got fired and realized that they didn't want to even work with these guys. So if I've got employees that no one wants to work with, why keep them around? If there's a problem out there, get rid of it the second it's a problem. Make that change quick. But not everybody has to go. It's interesting because I've said, I could fire everybody in my company and start over again. And anybody could. That's any business. We could literally fire every person within a company and start from scratch and start over and come back stronger and better. Guys say that all the time. I've got buddies that own companies that say that. But the reality of it is you hit a certain point within the business. I could have done that when I was smaller. I'm at a level now, I can't do that. I can't fire everybody in the company and start over. It's impossible. It would destroy the company. It would cripple it. We're not doing that. But what we can do is get rid of a certain percentage that is bringing down the morale of the company. So as guys see the bad going out, the bad eggs or whatever you want to call them, and new people coming in, new attitudes, as we were hiring new people, we were letting the new hirees know, here's what we've done. We fired a bunch of people. Here's why we're doing this. Here's what we're looking for. Don't come on board and tell us you can do something if you can't. Don't come on board and make a mess. Don't drip paint everywhere. And you will make it with our company. Have a good attitude. We work as a team. I'm looking for guys that are coachable. I'm looking for guys with a good attitude. I want a person that's going to show up every day on time. I want a person that's going to show up and just learn and try to be a little bit better every day. I want a person that's going to show up with a great attitude. I want someone that's coachable, that can pay attention, that can listen to direction. I don't need a yes man. I don't need someone just to say yes, sir, every day. I need someone that's just going to show up and put out and do their job. We have a list of stuff in front of us that we have to do. We have a list of people that we have to answer to. Everybody has to answer to somebody. Even I have to answer to somebody. I have the general contractors I'm doing work for. I have a signed contract. I don't tell people to do stuff just because I want to. We're doing it because it's part of our contract. We're getting paid for it. So let's do what we have to do. But we have to build each other up as we do this. We have to be a cohesive unit, and we have to work together. How can I motivate everybody that works for me? Some people you just can't motivate, it seems like. They've always got a bad attitude. Well, get rid of them. Have a revolving door. If they're not working good for our company, they've got to move on. We're going to find the right people that are going to fit the right position and work together as a team. I want people that are going to pay attention. I want people that are coachable. If you don't know how to do something, say you don't know how to do something. Don't lie about it. We've noticed that last week. We've had multiple people lie about what they can do we hired last week that are already gone. They didn't even make it a day or two with us. So in that sense, don't come on board. If you don't know how to do something, and here's the thing. I know everybody wants to make top dollar out there. I got guys coming in, they want $25 an hour. They want $30 an hour. Don't tell me you can do something and ask for top dollar. I put you on a job and you screw it up on us and you drip paint everywhere. You've cost us money. Now I'm having to pay someone else to clean up your mess. Now you no longer have a job with me. And the problem with you is you're going to go to the next place and you're going to tell them, oh, I need this much money. I can do this. And you're going to lie and lie and lie until you can get in there and you find a place that you can eventually just float by and get through. It's not worth it. You're not helping yourself. You're not helping the company you work for. So I will take someone with no experience and train them and motivate them and teach them and guide them and work with them and show them I appreciate them. Then the guy, the dipshit that comes on that says he can do something and he can't do it. We're tired of that. Quit lying to make more money. Figure out a way to make more money by learning that skill. Learn how to do it. I'm going to help you and guide you on our cruise to get to where you need to be. When I leave here today, I'm going to go to a job site and I'm going to walk that job site. I got a couple of new guys. I'm going to go out there and observe what they're doing because I personally hired them last week. And I'm going to make sure that they know what they're doing. And if they can't, I'm going to have a conversation with them. Here's the way the conversation's going to go. I'm going to ask this person, hey, I obviously see that you can't do what you told me you can do. So let's reevaluate the interview process. We just interviewed on Thursday or Friday. You started today. Let's reevaluate your skill set. You told me you wanted this much money because you could do this. I'm watching you out here. You cannot do what you told me you can do. So here's what I'm going to do. I started you at $25 an hour. We're going to change your wage right now. We're going to change your wage, and I'm going to bring you down to 20 bucks an hour. I'm going to train you and get you to that next level. So you have one of two options. One, you can accept this offer, and we'll change your pay, and I'm going to guide you. I'm going to train you. I'm going to pay special close attention to you and help you become the painter that you want to be. Or two, we can stop right here. You can leave, and I will cut you a check for the amount that we agreed upon, but you will not have a job with us no longer. In the past of doing this, 98% of the people are so goddamn stubborn that they take the money, the check, and they leave right then and there instead of willing to learn and become better. Now, the way I look at this is I can train you, I can teach you, I can help you. But let's let the stubbornness go. Let's let the pride go. You've lied to get in here. I'm telling you can't do it the way we expect you to do it. So let's change this. Let's focus on building your skill set and building you up. Let me help you. Let me train you. Why be so stubborn, so frustrated, so upset that you think you're worth something you're not? And if it goes back to your personal life, well, I've got the car payment, I got the bills. I can't help you with that. You made certain choices in your life that you got to live by. Everybody wants to think that they're worth more money than what they are. We need to go back to basics and learn a job and train ourselves how to do it the right way. If you don't know how to do something, admit it. Learn it. Let's get better at it. Why can I have a painter that has 5 years experience and a guy with 20 years experience, and a guy with 5 years experience is better than the guy with 20 years experience? What is the issue there? Is it he cares more? Or this guy's been doing it for 20 years, but never took the time to slow down and learn to become better at what he's doing? Take pride in what you're doing. That's our problem nowadays. Nobody takes pride in what they're doing. No one wants to take the time to become better at what they're doing. They want more money. They want the reward without putting in the effort, putting in the work. They want the gratification of that big paycheck without doing what it takes to get that big paycheck. It's time to take a step back and better ourselves. It's time to take a step back and reevaluate what we need to do to earn the money we want to earn. Not everybody's worth what they think they deserve. We all want $1 million. We're not worth $1 million. Are we willing to sacrifice and get to where we want to be? Everybody wants that corner office on a 20th floor with the windows looking out, and they want the paycheck that comes with it. But are they willing to sacrifice what it takes to get there? Are they willing to sacrifice and work 60 hours a week to get to where they want to be? It amazes me the people that walk in my office and they get an interview with a superintendent or a project manager. What are your goals? Oh, I want your job. I want to be where you're at. Are you willing to do what it takes to get there? Everybody wants it, but they're not willing to make the sacrifice. So how can we build our employees better? How can we get them to that level? I believe in building from scratch. I'll take 20 guys all day long with minimal experience that I can train that are coachable than one guy that's the best painter in the company. I don't want that best painter, because sometimes that best painter doesn't want to train anybody, doesn't want to teach anybody, does his own thing. I've got guys working for me right now that they feel like they're not a helper anymore. All they do is spray. They don't have to help mask. They don't have to help get stuff set up. They'll walk around and wait for it to be ready so they can start painting. We don't work that way. We work as a team. I don't want that guy. I had a guy years ago, and he was one of the best painters I ever had. This guy could show up hungover, show up late, and he would do more work in 4 hours than some guys would do in 2 days. I ended up firing him because of his attitude, because of his personality. He wasn't in it for the company. He knew he could make whatever he wanted as far as an hourly wage. He knew he was the best. And it went to his head, and he felt he could do whatever he wanted. But that's not the type of employee that we need out there. That's not the type of person I want working in my company. Because what does that do? That drags everybody else down. Everybody else starts to see that attitude, that mindset, and they think, oh, I can get away with something. It's a cancer within the company. We have to build each other up. We have to build up the company as a whole. We have to set a precedence of what our expectations are for our employees. If we let guys drip paint everywhere, if we let people make a mess everywhere, if we let people show up every day and late and keep their job, what does that show the rest of the company? We can't play favoritism for one because he's better than the others. Oh, I got to have this guy. He's the best painter out there. I need him. He's what's going to get this job done. He's what's going to make this job profitable. But he's late every day. If he's an hour late every day and everybody else shows up and doesn't know what to do because he's the lead and they're standing around, how much money are you actually losing or making? We have to evaluate that. You as an employee, do you really want to work with those people? Do you want them as your coworker? I don't. I don't think you do either. Let's get rid of those employees that are toxic to our environment. Let's lift up the ones and build up the ones that want to be there, that are coachable. Let's start helping our company grow, helping our employees grow. We do that by building them up. We do it with a positive attitude. We do it by helping them figure out what they need help on. So go out there, ask your employees, hey, what do you think you need to work on? What's your weakest thing? What can I do to help you? They're going to tell you what they think it is. They know what it is. They don't like to talk about it. They don't want it out there. They don't want everybody else to see it, but they know what it is, and we can help guide them. We can coach them. So coach them in becoming better at what they're doing. Find ways to start training your employees to become better. That's the other thing I think we as owners do, or we as superintendents or project managers, as the chaos of the day, the chaos of the week, the month, the year goes on, we forget that we need to continue training with our employees. We forget that we need to do some training sessions with our employees. Take the time to train the people that work for you. Take time to train the people around you to become better. And it could be just watching a YouTube video on how to do something as a group. Have a tailgate party. Have a tailgate meeting at the beginning of the day. Maybe it's a video that you came across, you watched, that you realize, hey, I should show the guys this. It might help them. They might learn something from this. Maybe we change that moving forward. Maybe, and as I'm sitting here talking, I'm coming up with ideas. Maybe it's something I need to do in the office. Maybe it's once a week, every Monday morning, have everybody gather around in a conference room and we watch one video on something to do with training. That's 5 to 10 minutes. That's all it takes. Maybe that's what I can do differently to help my company. There's a ton of videos out there. There's a ton of things that we can do differently. And maybe it's a video on how to do something that isn't so geared towards what we're doing, but it might be a different trade. It might be something else that we can watch. Maybe it's on safety. We have to focus on safety. We have to get better at that. All of us do. So maybe it's each week we do something different. We do something new to train guys. 5 to 10 minutes every week. If we could just do that to watch a video, something on safety, something on training, something to do differently within the company, it's going to make the company better. And if you're out there and you say, oh, I can't spend the time, I don't have time to do this. Come on, we can each take 5, 10 minutes. We've all got 5, 10 minutes that we can sit there with our company and watch a video, or go crew to crew and watch a video. And maybe that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to go to this job after this podcast. I'm going to look up a video to watch with my guys, have them huddle around for 5 minutes and watch a training video. That's all it takes. And it's going to change the way that job runs. What can I do to make them more efficient? What can I do to teach them to become better? How can I make that change within the company? That's all it takes. It's wanting to change. And I know there's a lot of business owners out there and people in positions. And I know I've got buddies and friends that own companies, and there's a couple out there that they feel like they know everything. They can do everything. They're perfect. They don't need help from anybody. We can all use help. We can all use training, even myself. I always want to become better. And those are the guys, and you guys out there, if you're watching this and listening to this and, oh, I don't need this, I don't need help, you're probably the ones that need it the most. Quit being so stubborn and try to make a change. You will be amazed at how your profit margins will change just by little changes. We all want to make more money, right? What do you got to lose by taking 5, 10 minutes to train your guys? What do you got to lose by taking 5-10 minutes out of your day to help better your employees? Take 5 to 10 minutes out of your day with each employee that you go see today to get to know them a little bit better. That's one thing we're trying to have our superintendents do on the job sites. Spend 10 minutes on each job site with each painter. Get to know them a little bit better. Watch them work. Talk about what they're doing. Maybe take the roller, the brush from them. Show them how you do it. Might not be anything different, but it's a different way of doing something. As long as the end result comes out the same. 5 to 10 minutes every day with each employee. Get to know them. As I walk into my shop in the morning at 4:30, I shake everybody's hand. Morning, how you doing? Have a good weekend? That's the first thing I do on Monday mornings before I even go in and get my coffee. I say hi to everybody out in the warehouse, out in the shop. Make sure that they know that I care about them. Take some time. How's your weekend? If they had, oh, John, I had this happen. Oh, well, tell me about it. What happened? How'd you fix the problem? What'd you do? Or you had a barbecue with the family? Oh, great. Haven't seen your family in a while? That's awesome. Get to know your people that work for you. You will see a drastic change in your company. It's getting to know the people, getting to know their issues, getting to know their problems, getting to know what makes them tick, helping them become better. Let's create a positive attitude within the company. It starts at the top. It starts with your position and rolls downhill. So change your attitude, change your mindset, change how you're going to treat people starting today, this week. Let's do it all week. Let's just have a positive attitude on every job site we go to, in every situation. Let's be positive. Let's start asking people about them. Let's start asking them about getting to know them, getting to know their issues, what makes them tick. Do you know their kids' names? Do you know their wives' names, their girlfriends? Do we know about them? Let's get to know them. Let's understand what makes them tick. Because if you can understand that, it's going to make it better within the workplace. I firmly believe my employees are my first customer. That's who I have to take care of. They are the first one that I have to take care of at all times. I have to make sure everything's running smooth for them. And in turn, they will do it for the job sites. They'll do it for the general contractors. The customers they take care of will be treated better because of the way you treat them. Guaranteed, every single time. If they're coming to work frustrated, unhappy, not in a good mood, it will reflect on the job site. It will reflect on the customers they're taking care of. So let's make sure they're taken care of so they have a better attitude. You will see the difference. Positive attitude, positive mindset. That's what we're looking for. So if you have that positive mindset, you'll start to see things change. You'll start to see attitudes change. You'll start to see situations change. You'll start to see your profit margins change. I guarantee it. I've seen it time and time again. On weeks where everybody's struggling, everybody's has a bad attitude, I see the profit margins change the wrong direction. It happens. So let's keep it on a positive note. Let's make sure we're going the right way. Thank people for coming to work today. Why should I thank them? They have to be here, right? Well, yeah, we know that, but thank them for showing up. Hey, thanks for coming in today. I know we got a busy week this week, and I know it's been rough. We had guys not showing up last week, but you were one of the ones that showed up every single day on time. Let them know that. Because the problem is we tend to notice the negative stuff before the positive things out there. Everybody sees the negative. It's in everybody's face. But I think we don't really appreciate the positive things as much as we should. We need to let those guys that work for us know that we appreciate them. They need to hear it once in a while. It goes unnoticed, unrecognized for so long, and they feel like nobody sees me. I'm just floating through the company. I'm just floating by. I don't feel appreciated here. The employees that feel appreciated will work harder, work longer. The employee retention lasts longer. You will see a difference. So show the ones that work for you that you appreciate them. That's what you have to do. You have to appreciate them. They have to know that you appreciate them. And you might say, oh, they know I give them a raise and they see this. And, you know, I make sure they got a clean new uniform shirt all the time. No, they need to hear it from you specifically. It will go so far if you just show them a little appreciation. This week, appreciate everybody around you. Show them the appreciation. Let them hear it from you. Showing them and hearing it's two different things. Showing it is a raise on a paycheck. Showing them is buying them lunch once in a while. Let them hear it. Let them hear you say, I appreciate you. You're showing up every day. You're showing up early. I appreciate you. The jobs you're on run smoother than some of these other jobs. And in turn, they're going to try even harder for you. That loyalty that they have for you just became more loyal. That's the change. That's what you're going to see. So appreciate them. How else can you show them that you appreciate them or tell them? By talking to them, getting to know them, getting to know what makes them tick. Get to know them on a personal level. You know, with our business, with the programs we run and a lot of second chance employees, I can't begin to tell you how many times I've been to court with my employees, or I've talked to their probation officer, or I've helped them write a letter so they can get into an apartment or get a rental place. That shows appreciation. That lets them know that you appreciate them. I'm not going to write a letter for somebody. I'm not going to go to court with somebody if they're not a good person or they're not one of my better employees. There's been guys that have been in situations and I have not helped them out as much as others because it's got to be reciprocated. If I see an employee trying really hard and he's doing his best to stay on the right track, do what he can to save his money, do what he can to get in a new apartment, I'm going to go the extra mile and help him. I can't begin to tell you how many employees that work for me that we help furnish apartments when it's their first place as they're growing up in this business, or they've come out of a second chance program that we have and they're trying to get their first place, get back on their feet. We've bought beds and sofas and dishes, and I can't begin to tell you what we've done to help these people. And they're still with us today. I guarantee you that goes a long way with them. So if you can show a little appreciation for the guys that work for you, it's going to go a long way. They need to hear it from you. They need to see it from you. Let them know this. The employees that work for me, we've thrown baby showers at our company barbecues. If we know someone's having a baby, we're going to throw a baby shower. We'll do diaper raffles. Everybody that brings a package of diapers gets a raffle ticket, and I'll put $100 in there. And someone's going to win $100 at our baby raffle. That's what we do. Make it a family environment. You will retain employees so much longer. I've seen it time and time again. There's a reason I've got employees that have been with me 9 years plus, and only being in business for 12 years. That's huge. I want guys that are going to be with me forever. I'm not looking for part-timers. I'm looking for full-timers that want to find a home. And that's what I want to create for them. We're a family. Let's make it a family. Let's make it a family environment that they can work in. When your kid does something good, you praise him. You tell him how good he did. You take him out for ice cream after he hits that home run at his first ball game. Let's do the same thing with our employees. Take them out for dinner. Take them out to have a barbecue. Have a pizza day at lunchtime for the crews. Do something to let them know that you appreciate them. So what can you do to change? Change your attitude. Change how you appreciate them. Change the way you praise them or don't praise them. Let them know. So our goal this week, get to know our employees. Take 10 minutes with each employee. Get to know them. Let them see the appreciation by talking to them, by praising them, helping them find out what they can do to help themselves become better. Listen to them. You know, I think the problem with some of us is we talk too much. We need to listen more. And I'm guilty of that too with some of my employees. I need to sit back and listen to what's being said. There's a reason we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. That helps. So as I go out there today, I'm going to talk to all my employees. I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to ask each one on the job site, what do they need to work on? What do they feel their weakest point is? What would they like to see to help them get better with that? They're going to tell me, I hope. Or we're going to brainstorm and come up with an idea on how to make it better. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up with a couple videos that I can play on the job site today as I get there that we can do to train. That's one thing we're going to do. Or maybe I'll have a 5 to 10 minute tailgate meeting with the crew on each job and talk about something about safety, something about training. Maybe we'll go around and each person talks about what their strong and weak points are. Or what do they appreciate this week? What are they grateful for this week at the job site? Let's change this up a little bit. Let's find new ways to make these guys bond together, to make them want to come to work. Find out who was late. Why were you late? What can we do as a group to help you come on time tomorrow? What's the difference there? We have to make a change. It starts with us. It starts with you. So the change starts with me. The change starts with me on a job site today. And it's going to roll downhill to the project managers, to the superintendents, to the estimators, and then through all the employees. What am I grateful for today on the job site? What am I grateful for coming to work today? I'm grateful that I have a company I can come to every day. I'm grateful that I love what I do at work. And I'm going to make a change today. I'm going to appreciate my employees today. That's where I'm going to make a change this week. I'm going to appreciate everybody that showed up on time today and showed up to work. And I'm going to help them become better. I'm going to help them work on what they want to work on to be a better employee. Once again, thanks for joining me here. Stay hungry.